Oh. So, hi. I'm gonna balance out the sound, of course. Right now I think it's a bit loud. But I'm gonna start my new game plus of Silent Hill F. And I'm sorry, I need to mute stuff. Since I'm fairly new to streaming and still trying to make this into a hobby that is in many ways more professionally done, I asked to have some room to actually be a bit technically challenged. At the same time, I'm gonna do this new game plus a bit more what can we say, like in bits and pieces. Like I'm gonna take Ebisugaoka, like I'm gonna start with the start, but I'm gonna stop and have it pieced up into segments because doing this game, I want to do it justice, because this game is both triggering to me and to probably a lot of people out there. It has triggers like torture, domestic violence, like bullying, and violence in general. It's a Silent Hill game, so there's that. I'm starting this with a little, like, just talking a bit about it before I start it, because right now my goal is to have the new game plus go. We are gonna reach the Dark Shrine. That is the goal of this session of New Game Plus. And the thing about New Game Plus in Silent Hill F is that this is a whole new game, or not a new game, but it's a hermeneutically. It is a spiral. We go down, as I talked about earlier on a Just Talk, and we are kind of coming back to where we start as Hinako in her home, but this time she's not talking about being a tomboy. This time she's gonna talk about something else. So our goal here, I'm still gonna go through and try to be as thorough as I can when it comes to finding notes and stuff. That means I might be a bit of a slow game player when it comes to walking around, especially in Ebisugaoka, in areas like around Ebisugaoka where you actually have like big areas to explore and a lot to actually be explored and a lot to actually have a bit of a talk about, like the masks. This game also it focuses a lot on the masks we wear, which is why I actually, going into this playthrough, I want to unmask myself, because doing this is hard. Like, this game is hard on me too, because it has triggers because for a reason. And a lot of people out there are trauma survivors, me included, a lot of you included probably, and having to go through trauma and then face trauma can have this reaction on us. So I'm not gonna draw out this intro, but I'm gonna say we are gonna start now with the intro to New Game Plus, the first New Game Plus, that being said. And we are gonna start our intro. I'm gonna, whenever there is a segment that is like cinematic, I'm gonna turn off my camera. Like this. If I press the right button. Just so that you can actually get into the story. I'm not gonna be, I don't want to be the element of, like, I don't want to be the element that takes you out of the telling situation, because the story here is worth telling, it's worth getting, and it's worth seeing from your perspective, not just my perspective. And I don't need to comment over cinematics. I can comment around cinematics. Also, when it comes to just chats and stuff, I love having chats from you. When it comes to replying to chats, in some parts of the game, there is more intense, and I can be a bit slower to actually see the chats. I'm very sorry in advance if that happens. It is not because I don't want to read or anything. And if there is something that is like a lot of chats and a lot of talking, I might pause the game just to talk to you instead of trying to multitask and talk to you while I'm doing the game, because that can kind of ruin for the gameplay, for the story elements, and suddenly you understand. So instead of making any longer intro, I'm gonna start this game. We are gonna go from the start of the game and reach the Dark Shrine. The Dark Shrine, so we're gonna go through Ebisugaoka. We're gonna go through the start, the intro, and we are gonna reach the Dark Shrine, because that is a good place to stop. So yeah, if you don't know where the Dark Shrine is, you will know after this playthrough. Also, I'm just gonna update some of my like notifications and stuff. So if you just give me one moment here, and I'm gonna get ready, and we are gonna get ready, and we are doing New Game Plus intro to Silent Hill F. Hopefully as good as I feel it deserves. This game is a gem, but I don't think a lot of people, as I have understood, a lot of people haven't had the same experience that I feel, this being such a big gem to me. So I kind of want to do it justice, and that's why I'm gonna go now just update my streamer info and try to make this as streamlined, as optimized as I can. So while that being said, give me 1 minute and I'll be starting the game. And as I said, I'll be starting the game with the intention of not being a point of like distraction. So my camera will be turned off when there is cinematics. My camera will be turned on, of course, throughout the gameplay, and chats and stuff will be answered and is very welcomed. It's just the way I will answer it might be more like if it's a lot of chatting, I will engage in that chatting, but I might be pausing a part of that game while doing that, just so I can chat with you, but not multitask and then distract from the story, because I'm horrible at I'm terrible at multitasking. I have no skill at multitasking, which is just me being honest. Also, before I start, right now I'm just gonna because I have to make like I have to just put up a little note to myself which kind of keycaps I need to press for camera and stuff, because I am playing on one monitor, and I'm using my MacBook, my laptop, to see, because when I did use two monitors, which I will be doing again later, it took a lot of my power from my computer. My computer isn't the strongest, and I haven't had enough money to update it, so doing this hobby, I have to be a bit cautious about that. So right now I'm using one monitor. I'm using Stream Manager on Twitch, and I'm using my keyboard shortcuts to play through the scenes. So right now I'm gonna go and just fix all of this, meaning I'll use 5 minutes just to make myself a sheet, like a clue sheet. Just this button, this button, this button is for this and this scene, so I don't mess up and it just blah. So okay, if you give me a minute and we'll be ready. Yeah, be right back. All right, we have a sheet just to look. Our live scene being this, and our no camera here, and our camera here. All right, cheat sheet. Wow, that is white as F. I just want this to be as streamlined as I can make it, and being a new Twitch streamer, trying to make this a better viewing pleasure. I am very, very inclined of having all, like, criticism, good and bad, just give it to me. And if it's a lot, like, if it's something you want to tell me that I might be, like, doesn't fit to a chat, because chats can disappear and kind of, like, if it's something you want to tell me I should fix or something, please just whisper me or contact me over any of my other social media, preferably maybe X or Instagram or TikTok, even though TikTok is something that I just started with, so I'm bad at doing TikTok. But yeah, and I never go through social media while I'm streaming. That is always something I do afterwards. And if I'm very tired after streaming, that might be the next day or something. But I will go through all the messages. Also, I put up a personal email address that you can contact me on if there's anything other than just like saying hi and stuff. Like if it's something more than that, I will have a professional account you can actually contact me through. But all that being said, that is still in the making. I'm very new at this. So yeah, this has been a long intro. It's been 15 minutes. Let's just start the game. And starting the game, first of all, we have to go to the right game. And we go to live scene. That should do it. Hopefully. Yeah. No. I might have to tweak some of the settings, like when I enter now into the graphical audio and stuff, but everything will be like you see here. This is the content warning. We're gonna have to have that in our mind. That's why I'm taking a screenshot, because content warnings aren't often just there just to be annoying. They're there for a reason. And so first of all, I hear the audio. We need to fix the audio a bit. Yeah, headphones, that should do it. I hopefully think this is balanced. This should be already fixed. Yeah, I fixed that. Okay. I'm gonna do a quick listen just to check. The thing I don't like about my audio, just a quick note to myself, is that I have some static sometimes. If it's because of where my audio is being captured, I'm not sure. I'm gonna fix that in the end. But when I entered into the audio setting now and went out of the audio settings, that stopped. So for the time being, let's just head into New Game Plus. And as I said, I'll do this with no camera, and I will be doing a story. Like, I don't want more hard difficulties that way, but I'll increase the hardness of the puzzles, because I already did the puzzles on story mode, because I wanted it to be thoroughly explored. Now I've done it on story mode. Now let's go to hard mode. And next Game Plus, maybe I go in Lost in the Fog. And however this evolves, like, it's not a hard game, so in many ways I might do Lost in the Fog on both in the end. But right now, let's just do hard and story. And I really like this uniform. I do love this uniform too. Kind of, if you've seen the shorts in Jujutsu Kaisen, after this is a tangent, but Jujutsu Kaisen has some shorts after, and some shorts they are wearing this kind of outfit, and I kind of want to use it just for that. But then again, this is so. This is the way it's meant to be. So I'm gonna be vanilla type girl here. Okay, flavor vanilla. And now I'm gonna turn off my camera, and you're gonna get the full intro. So yeah. I wonder if I turn off my microphone, if that makes the intro, if you just get the desktop. I'm gonna test that out right now. If it doesn't, well shit, but let's test that out.
ねえね 知ってる？女の人はお嫁さんになるのが仕事なんだって。
仕事じゃないよ。ひな子はお嫁さんになりたくないの？
でもお父さんに言われるとなりたくなくなる。
宿題と同じだね。
やれって言われるとやる気なくす。
お待たせ。
お姉ちゃん。
何かいいことでもあった？
昔を思い出してた。お姉ちゃんって小さい頃からずっとお姉ちゃんだったんだなって。
ひな子、私ね。
これお姉ちゃんにあげる。
綺麗だわ。ありがとう。
とにかく今後のことは親の方で話を進める。
お父さん、ひな子の気持ちだって。
こんな話二度とないんだぞ。ひな子にとってこれ以上の幸せがあるか？あるわけがない。どこ行く？話はまだ終わってないぞ、ひな子。
それにしてもあのひな子がね。
あいつは本当に高校娘だ。何しろおかげで借金は全て返せる。二度と金に困らずに済むぞ。
お父さん、やめてくださいよ。ひな子に聞こえますよ。
あってたまるか、そんなこと。
And that's how I like to do the cinematics. You can see me now in the corner. I do have a delay on my screen, my laptop, but I don't want to intrude on the cinematics in this game. I want that to be exclusively the game. Before I begin now, we are gonna go through the diary of Hinako, her journal, just catch up on everything, because we are starting a new game plus. And starting a new game plus now, we keep all our, like, I don't know if you noticed, but we still have the brooch on her with her here, and we are just gonna go a bit fast through our diary and our stuff. And my goal for this part is to reach the Dark Shrine. That means we are gonna go through Ebisugaoka until we get to the Dark Shrine. But first we need to catch up. This is a New Game Plus. We saw a lot of differences, like the way our father is talking about something else. In the first playthrough, our mother is telling us to go out to buy groceries, so to try to protect us from our abusive dad. This time we see our dad talking about Hinako being married off. This game being set in 1940s, I think it was, means that, and that being actually told to us, has a lot to do with where we are as people. This is an isolated town in the 1940-ish. We are also gonna, I'm just gonna show you on the map, this New Game Plus, this place is open for us. There is a lot of new stuff we are gonna see. So I'm in no way gonna rush through. I'm gonna try to my best to be fast about looking through clues and stuff, and not like go back and forth too much. But I'm gonna be thorough as much as I can be. I'm not gonna be 100%. I'm not. That would mean I would have to read a guide and stuff. But we are doing this as best as we can. So let's start with the diary, and let's start with the characters. Let's start with Shimizu Hinako. I still wonder about the golden pins upon the upon our diary, but this is very much inclined with the same introduction we get to Hinako in the first playthrough, except we have a lot more to read through. And I think I'm gonna read through them all. At least the characters, and maybe like Fox Mask, we haven't met him yet, but maybe we are just gonna read through the characters that is essential, right? We just met me, which is Hinako, and Mom and Dad, and Junko. Maybe that is enough right now. So let's just begin with that. And yeah. Shimizu Hinako, me. There is not a single extraordinary thing about me, except maybe being tall for a girl my age. I used to be in the track and field club, which is probably why I'm better at sports than most girls. I guess I got used to running around a lot when I was a kid, since I preferred playing with boys. She was a tomboy in the first playthrough, too. I will admit I can be quite stubborn at times. I don't like accepting things that other people decide for me, even if it's the right thing to do. More than once, I rebelled and made the wrong decision, only to regret it later. Unlike my sister Junko, who was always the golden child, I've been a handful ever since I was little. My parents told me that I never listened to a single word they said. I'd make my mom cry and my dad furious, but Junko was always there for me. She understood me, she looked out for me. That's why I love my sister and have always done what she asked of me. Or at least I have tried. She would smooth things over between me and my parents, which made life in that house a little more bearable. That is, until she got married off, of course. I've always despised people who tell me how to act just because I'm a girl. Shu, which is her best friend, was different, though. He was the only one who ever understood me. We were perfect partners. I considered him a true companion. As he got older, the pressure from our parents got stronger. Even still, Shu never stopped treating me like his equal, regardless of my gender. There exists two Hinakos inside me now. Shimizu Hinako, whom I have known since birth. A Hinako, a woman who is trying to steal my body from the old me. It's like an alien is trying to take over me. If this were Space Wars, my partner would be coming to the rescue, but there's no sign of him. Nothing gets on my nerves more than other people trying to make decisions for me. Even if what they are saying is right, it just rubs me the wrong way. I'd rather make 100 mistakes on my own than follow someone else's commands. But that can make for a lonely life, one where I refuse to listen to anyone else. I want to become the kind of person who truly listens to what others have to say. Of course, it'll still be up to me whom I listen to, and that will be someone I can trust. Someone who will walk alongside me, hand in hand. However, making long lists of things I hate is just a way of running away from the real issues I have with my inner self. I have to step up and face what's inside of me, even if I don't like what I see. Being able to take my time and carefully think things through before making a decision is what's most important to me. This is kind of like a hint, I guess, to us playing this game now. Let's go further and just go to Mom. Shimitsukimiya, my mother. If I had to choose one word to describe her, it would be pitiful. She's the one who bears the brunt of my father's violent moods and malicious abuse. When I was younger, she used to protect me from him, so I didn't hate her back then. But maybe I do hate her now, even as my father screams in her face, throws bowls at her, and sends her out for alcohol late at night. She remains ever loyal to him. I just will not accept her way of life. A woman's happiness begins with marriage. She told me that every opportunity she got. Am I supposed to believe that she's actually happy with the life she has now in this house? Today, my dad threw a knife. It got stuck in the tatami mat. There are chips and dings all over the house. Every last one is from when he threw something. Is that what happiness is to my mother? Seeing her house in such a sorry state and full of scars. Her father is Shimizu Kanta, my father. When I first learned of the term patriarchal husband, and that it meant a man who does nothing but boss his wife around, he was the first person to come to mind. Dad barely talks. He ignores me when I tell him good morning. But if I say nothing, he gets angry instead. And once he's angry, he just explodes. He loses all control over his emotions in the blink of an eye. He yells at Mom, throws things around, and even hits us. Why can't he act like that in public? Why does everyone else only get to see his quiet, calm side? If it meant that I wouldn't have to spend another second with him in that house, I'd happily let myself be taken away. I've heard that Dad used to be a fisherman when he was younger and would go on long fishing trips way out at sea. He managed to save up enough money doing that to open a restaurant, a place where he could put his skills with a knife to use. It didn't work out though. Not only did he lose all his savings, he took on new debt too. No, he spends his days drinking his life away in this sleepy little town. That's a long way from the sea. He never even tries to cook anything anymore. It's only when he complains about Mom's food that he pretends to be some kind of important chef. I used to think it was just my dad who was like this. But after listening to all married women around here complain, every man seems just as bad. All their husbands are just as short-tempered, just as violent, just as useless, and do just as little to help out their wives. After learning this, every grumpy-looking old man in town I see reminds me of him. When I think that I was born and raised just to support these horrible tyrants, I just lose all hope. If everything works out, they're going to give my father a lot of money. I'm sure he's desperate to use it to pay back his debts. My father is selling me to pay back his debts. Hinata Junko, my older sister. She's one of the prettiest and kindest people I know, and there's nothing she can't do. I can rely on her for anything. Honestly, she's the greatest sister anyone could ask for. She's always been there for me, ever since the day I was born, until she left to get married. Junko always told me that the quickest way to happiness is to live the way society expects women to. Well, if there's a quick way to happiness, then there must be other ways too. One time when I was little, Junko showed me how to find my way out of a maze in a puzzle book. There's no doubt that she'd show me the quickest solution. Still, what I felt that moment was nothing compared to the joy of figuring it out for myself. So far, we get a bit of a new information here from the first playthrough, like the way her father used to be a fisherman, has debts he wants to pay out, the way society is expecting women, and especially in this time and age that the game is setting, which I am just now I'm guessing is around 1940-ish. 1940, I believe that is correct, yeah. I'm gonna double check that, but 1940 or 1970, 1940 I think it was. And how Chimitsu Hinako is in an age where she is transforming from kid into becoming woman. And how she is a way of redeeming, like her dad has his struggles being like the main provider. Of course he would be having struggles trying to provide for a family where he is struggling to provide for, and his solution being Hinako can be married off. Of course this is both hard, not only on Hinako, her mother, father, the whole family, and Junko, and how we see her being told that she is always there to help us out, finding a way out of the puzzles, but we want to find our own way. That is a clue we have to take with us in this gameplay. Like, Hinako wants to experience finding her own path. We also have to acknowledge the symbols for each member of the family so far. We have the drinking bottle of a father. He's drinking a lot. We had Junko, who has this kind of bird. She's blacked out, but she has this kind of bird. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure what kind of bird it is. Is it a falcon? Is it an owl? It's not an owl. Doesn't look like an owl. Is it a swallow? I'm not sure. But she has this symbol, and she is in a very traditionally like garb. We have Hinako, which has these swallows, these golden swallows, and the flowers. And this game, we have to be paying good attention to those things, like the small things in the journal, the small things on the map, things that is accentuating the characters, like how, for example, Junko's face is blacked out here. It will come into full circle later. I don't want to continue reading on her friends until we meet them, or are close to meeting them, because it's a lot of information going through it all at once. So let's continue to just the monsters, because we have gone through this game. There will be some spoilers here. I can put up like just a marker, so when I upload this to YouTube, which I am intending to do with a better playthrough that is more in order. I can kind of jump this, or at least give you a number where you can jump if you don't want spoilers for this. But we are in a New Game Plus, so we have spoilers. And I don't want to read every single monster here. I just want to read the very, very last one that comes. Because it is so important for how we start this playthrough and where we start this playthrough and how the first playthrough ended, because that is interesting to say the least. All of these monsters we are gonna find throughout the game. Like, we are going to the Dark Shrine. That is our first part. That is our goal for this stream right now. And formidable foes. This is where I find a character that I want to read out about. It didn't appear here though yet, but I think it will appear here when we walk around a bit. So yeah, let's just keep that in mind. We can also read, like, I don't think we need to read about this one, but how our parents maybe we should wait for this. I'm not sure. We can take that when the other monster is appearing. We can talk about Ebisugaoka. Our goal is now to explore Ebisugaoka, the first part of Ebisugaoka. Ebisugaoka. I live in a small rural town of Ebisugaoka. Before the war, the town was lively due to an influx of people coming for the coal mines and dam constructions going on in the northern mountains. After the dam construction finished and the coal mine closed down, it just became a sad little town. The grand iron bridge that connected the town to the nearby city is the only reminder of this sorry town's former glory. We will read about all the other places too here down the book, but I want to try to keep it in order, so let's just take it from Ebisugaoka first. We don't need to go through this. I think we know enough about how this works until something new comes, and it's not that much interesting anyway, except this brooch, of course, the brooch we are wearing now, which we got from playing through the game once. Brooch, a very old but valuable piece of jewelry decorated with a delicate fox. With the brooch you are now able to open doors and boxes bearing the same design. If you saw the first playthrough or have played through this game once, you know that there are doors around the game that bears Inari-sama's symbol, and this brooch gives us the ability to open those doors, it seems like. So yeah, so far I think that is enough for us to actually just begin looking around. Let's take a look at the map. Like, we are in the northern part of the map. Like, we are living, this is Hinako's house, and we are in the northern part of the map. And how we have to go up here before we go down, even though it's a way we don't need to go. But I want a dialogue, and because that she talks about the coal mines being closed off, and that the town is actually in very big similarities to Silent Hill 1, an isolated town, coal mines being also something that it is in Silent Hill 1. There's a lot of similarities to Silent Hill 1 and the cults and everything, and it's just kind of like from a very Japanese and from a very refreshing new lens, and I appreciate that in the Silent Hill game. So we are gonna do the best we can to explore the map, but I'm gonna do the best I can to not be too slow. So there's that. So first of all, let's just go up north, just to see what we find up there. And on the map where we find Hinako, you can also see a swallow. And the map, just as the journal, is just as important for the storytelling elements, and is an artistic visualization of the story that I appreciate in just a high degree. Like, this game, the way it has just made the artwork, both in the journal, the map, and everything around you, like, like completely like necessary for you to actually follow along to view and to explore is, in my view, it's just chef kiss. It's just what I love. And for people that don't like to read a lot, for people that don't care that much, maybe that is not that interesting. But in my way of seeing storytelling, I'm kind of geeking out on this game because it's so thoroughly, contextually, just perfectly put together. So let's just start. And as I say, I will be there. We get the journal update. This is probably, yeah, this is this garb is like a marriage garb. Like this is Hinako in like the traditional way of being married, kind of. And in the end of the first playthrough, we see Hinako stand before her father and the mother. Her mother saying, "Look at her, look at our daughter. Look how beautiful she is," and her father, Hinako's father, just bowing down in shame, not wanting to look at his daughter, and the way that we then can see Hinako growing up, and then she ends up killing her parents. And this is why I want to read this part, because and another thing, this is also just a tangent I have to comment on, because I love how Silent Hill F does faceless, because we have had like Slenderman being faceless, for example, just because Slenderman is such a known monster in gaming history. Him being faceless, we have seen a lot of faceless monsters throughout storytelling mediums, but in this game you can see faceless being done visually represented in a way that is telling faceless is not only faceless, it's cut off the face. And a lot of this game also takes in the aspects of masks and like how masks play a part. I'm gonna be very aware of how I don't mask myself playing this game, because I think there is a lot of players out there on Twitch. Just having said this very quickly, a lot of players on Twitch play as themselves playing a game, but when I find this game and games I love, like I have my favorite games, I want to try to step into the shoes of the protagonist. So in this way, I'm gonna do my best as unmask myself, however vulnerable that would be doing that. Especially when it's something that is so close to heart triggering and close to heart relatable, and in that way also a very good storytelling medium, and why psychological horror is one of my favorite storytelling mediums, to actually be able to put you in the shoes of someone else, because it forces you to, with its methods of denying you any way to escape, kind of. Your stress levels are heightened to the level where you are immersed in another way than you can say you are immersed to, for example, Stardew Valley. So yeah, enough said about that. I'm gonna unmask myself and just appreciate as much as I can with this game, and try to do as much justice as I can, and that's just what I wanted to say in advance of starting. And I'm gonna read this foe now. An intimidating monster that appears in Shirumuku, a traditional white wedding kimono. It uses their grand fox arm to compel others to obey. It looks down on me and denies my existence, but at the same time it pities me like I think it's better than me or something. Don't look down on me, you're no better. This journal is also written from Hinako's point of view. And now I've said all I think is necessary to comment on, just to proceed. So yeah, let's continue. And we are gonna go up north first. And also, like, there are a lot of places on the map that is kind of hidden kind of, not Easter eggs, but like just places of comment where Hinako comments on something that I will try to find as many places of as I can. And the way we see bottles of beer and drink everywhere is also a very, very important part of the story. We see these bottles. I also translated a lot of with a translator app because I can't read kanji, hiragana, katakana. With an app just to make sure I understand fully. I've done this. And I will do that separately so it doesn't take so much time, but yeah, let's continue here. Entry to mountain prohibited.
土砂崩れで通れない。昔はここ登ったな。
So this is part of where the natural catastrophes or natural catastrophes are playing a part on the city and how that is making the city both isolated and also kind of sick and catch this sickness that we will be exploring. I will try to do this as best I can and as fast as I can. I know that around here there is not much that we can explore, so I'm running around, but I will be doing this slowpoke style for the most part, just to take in the sound design, the atmosphere, which is it's 11 out of 10. The atmosphere in this game is 11 out of 10, and I'm so happy for that. And yeah, I'm commenting a lot. Like I do comment a lot when I play games, but I will be trying to exclude my comments when I hear clues that is like, I don't want to distract too much from the actual game atmosphere and sound design or design in general. And we can see all the beer bottles. We can't go back inside or anything.
いつもお姉ちゃんと眺めてた景色。お姉ちゃんが恋しい。
This is one of those places. See, we get a clue on the map after just going here. I will try to find as many of those places on the map just to get the full map explored like this and get the full like inner dialogue and memories of Hinako into the story. And she's talking about Junko, which is her sister. The only thing that I think is a bit sad, this is just one criticism. I wish I could use some of the option to just make the dialogue, like the dialogue, be a bit longer on the screen. Like it could appear a bit longer and not disappear so fast, because I am a slow reader. That's one thing, and also because I want to remember the things that we are coming back to later, like, and remember in a way that I actually can see how things change. And yeah. Because that is the map and the way the whole visual representation of the game, a whole town is like in Silent Hill, just having said this, Silent Hill, the town you're in, the place you're in, is kind of like a character in itself. And that goes for most of Silent Hill games that I have played. I haven't played all Silent Hill games. That being said, I played the most classic Silent Hill games. But the place you are placed in Silent Hill is as much as of a character as the character you are playing yourself. Because it's sometimes, just like in Silent Hill 2, you get to see and get to hear that the place you're in is a visual representation of the psychological state your protagonist is going through Silent Hill and why they are in Silent Hill. So yeah, that is why I'm very, very trying to exhaust the map, trying to be very observant. Might be a bit slow, might be going back and forth a bit. I'm gonna go through it as best I can, and as fast as I can, as thorough as I can. And I'm sorry if I go in circles, but yeah. No, enough about that. Let's continue. Local doctor's note. A fox's wedding is a common expression used for times when it rains while the sun is still shining. According to the older folk here in Ebisugaoka, however, they also used this expression for when a young girl was spirited away. Just a note. Just as in the movie Spirited Away, Hinako is spirited away in the sense of how she is targeted by a deity. Coming back to that later. So remember that Hinako is a girl that is spirited away. Folklore pertaining to gods and spirits becoming infatuated with human women is not something unique to Japan, but can be found across the world. Ebisugaoka is no exception to this. Even here, there are old tales of young girls being taken away on a fox's wedding and disappearing forever. During the Meiji and the Tajihu periods, the town elders would apparently reassure the families of missing daughters that they had been swept away by a fox lord and are now enjoying a life of luxury without care. And being spirited away, it is an eerie. It's supposed to be a horror element. Like Spirited Away, if you watch the movie, it's kind of creepy at times. It's eerie, and Hinako is very much being spirited away, and we get clues about this. We got clues in the first part. We played through the story, but we get clues throughout this too. Let's just find out where. Yeah, Inari-sama. So, Ebisugaoka is mostly composed of Inari-sama's believers. There are statues of Inari-sama all over town. My elderly neighbors treat them with great respect and worship them. Inari-sama, also referred to as Unari-sama, is a goddess that puts old, unusable tools to rest. They are known for their offering preference of abuaraage tofu, pierced through with an old needle. That we should try to remember. It seems like other towns don't have these customs, though. I'm guessing they might be something special only we do for Inari-sama here in Ebisugaoka. Inari-sama statues act as memorials for old and broken tools. It's okay to take these tools for your own as long as you have use for them. This is called kishu, and it's an action that's considered virtuous. It's a teaching of Inari-sama to make the most out of tools in any way. The Inari-sama of Ebisugaoka has been the guardian deity that has protected this town since the old days, but that they can be capricious and at times. Sometimes they'll turn into a fox and steal chickens and dried persimmons. Other times they'll play tricks on children who don't listen to their parents. I also heard that that when they fall in love with a woman they find desirable at first sight, they spirit her away to be their bride. This is important for what we are gonna experience as Hinako in this story. When we are reading about Onari-sama, Inari-sama, maybe it's important to actually take up the Senensugi shrine too. So I'm just gonna read about the shrines because it plays a big part here. Senensugi Shrine, a lonely little shrine situated on the outskirts of town. The name Senensugi Shrine sure sounds fancy, but that's all that it has going for it. Even though Ebisugaoka is full of elderly believers, this shrine rarely get any visitors. They instead go to what's closest to them, and that's an Inari statue. Sakuko's family served the shrine, including fulfilling the role of head priest. Sakuko is quite proud of this fact, but I don't know if the same could be said about her parents. I remember what Sakuko once said. Senensugi Shrine didn't used to be the small shrine that we know. The real shrine was situated on the mountain, and it was much more impressive than it is now. Long ago, there was an actual 1,000-year-old cedar that was worshipped as a divine vessel. Unfortunately, it was struck by lightning and burned to ash. Upon losing its divine vessel, the shrine was abandoned and became the small shrine it is in present day. Sakuko says that the custom of putting old tools to rest is called the Tsukumogami faith. During the course of history, it somehow fused with the Inari faith, making its special religious view of Ebisugaoka. The only shrine in town, Senensugi Shrine, was, as its name suggests, worshipping a 1,000-year cedar as its divine tree. After living to see 1,000 years, it was praised as divine, and then, once the divine tree turned to ash, it was time to worship the next oldest thing. Sakuko reckons that it just so happened to be the moss-covered Inari statue. Let's just read about the Forgotten Shrine while we're at it. Forgotten Shrine. I heard once that there was a shrine in shambles near Shu's house, but I never knew it was there. Shu told me back then that there's treasure at the roots of the divine tree or something. Sakuko once told me that this place is where the real Senensugi Shrine is. And since we already have heard two names here, maybe it's good to actually read about who Sakuko and Shu is. So, Igarashi Sakuko, one of my friends. She's always got her head up in the clouds and is a little strange. She's constantly trying to worm her way out of paying me back for the 500 yen I lent her that one time. Her father is the head priest of the Senensugi Shrine in town. She seems to take great pride in donning the traditional Miko robes and selling charms during the New Year celebrations. We can see the bunny being her icon on the journal pages. Sakuko is very in touch with her spiritual side. She seems to always have some god or apparition visiting her dreams, telling her about this or that. According to Sakuko, there's been quite the supernatural disturbance around Ebisugaoka, something about an ancient god who's furious about having their followers stolen from them, and now they're out for revenge or whatnot. I think Sakuko may have read one too many of those bizarre comics. Lately she'll be laughing all happily one moment, then turn deadly serious and spout up some weird nonsense the next. Apparently she's acting like that because she thinks it's cool, but it kind of creeped me out the first times she did it. I hope she gets over the weird supernatural face of her. So this is Shu. He's represented by aliens, like UFOs and pills. Iwai Shu. Shu's been my best friend since forever. He's my partner. We've been having play dates for as long as I can remember. When we played make-believe Space Wars, we'd call each other partner, and for some reason it's kind of just stuck. kids of the Showa era tend to look down on the other sex, but never Shu. When I rebelled against my parents because they told me to act like a girl, he was the one who understood my feelings the most and stood by me. Shu's always had a vast knowledge of plants and flowers, so his nickname came to be Professor Horticulture. He has so many aspirations for his future. He wants to be a gardener, herbalist, matsutake farmer, and a member of the Space Army. Shu comes from a long lineage of pharmacists, with his grandmother still working as one. Following the war, a town doctor was finally able to open an actual practice. Before that, the Aiwas were said to have been stand-in doctors. As Shu was a grandma's boy, he spent a lot of time learning about various types of plants, flowers, and medicinal herbs. That seemed to have sparked his interest in medicine, which eventually led to him learning first aid. It seemed that he was interested in learning the first aid because of his family lineage as pharmacists and to fulfill his duty of being a member of the Space Army. So, Shu is our best friend, and between lines here, Shu is also kind of like dealing with the gender issue. A lot of the characters here are dealing with gender issues, like what's expected of them, and the age they are in, the town they are in, where they live, how the elders are kind of making that a big deal, yeah, and so on and so on.
拝んでおこう。
This is the Hokoras we pray at.
神様、私はどうしたら。
So Hinako is actually in this part trying to find out what is the right path for me going forward. It seems like she is confused and wanting to find her way through her struggles, but on her own terms, of course. Yeah. You can change costume, but I still like to be doing the vanilla thing. And we are just gonna exhaust the map. There is nothing down here as of yet. Just a big X. But now we've found that. And like a lot of the things that we find like advertisement on these polls, I'm not gonna do this for everything, but I'm just gonna try and check for this one. Like I try to, since I can't read kanji and stuff, it doesn't tell me. A lot of it tells like tidbits about the story. Like there is one part, I'm gonna talk about that when we get there, that actually highlights the Hinako's problems with her father and the structure of family structure that is apparent in her normal life. Drinking at this time of day. A woman is only complete when she's loved. Featuring the latest fashion of young women, so pure they even make flowers blush. Of course, this is foreign to Hinako, who is... She is more tomboyish than girly. This place being accentuated on the map, I have no idea why yet. But maybe that has something to do later, so... just saying that. Research notes on exotic herbology. although the most famous translated Western medicinal book remains the New Text of Anatomy, there was a particularly work by the name of Exotic Herbology, published in the 5th year of the Anne era, 1776 AD. Strange as the text was, it has largely been forgotten by history. A foreign missionary brought this text to Japan along with the curious medicine that would supposedly allow one to speak with the divine spirits. This drug came to be known as Kakura Makakura by locals. However, in order to have contact with the gods, one must first liberate one's soul. However, upon doing so, the individual will fall into a temporary state of unconsciousness, potentially leaving them vulnerable to malevolent spirits. So this is important. It's an important clue for our journey. And in the first playthrough, did you... Why did that happen? That is so creepy. Why did that happen? It's wide open. This house was closed in the first playthrough, just saying. I never heard a laugh here before. Ominous, to say the least. I need a key. Research journal photo number 1. A photo attached to a research journal. It appears to be a clue collected by a researcher investigating the folklore of Ebisugaoka. Regarding the legend of the sacred sword. However, it is said that the sword and animosity continued to grow even as it remained buried under the earth. So the people erected a sacred barrier around it using jitsu statues as anchors. If one wished to find the sword, they should start by looking for the jitsu statues first. It appears that the barriers works by creating a spiritual harmony that inhibits the sword's animosity. Harmony, yin-yang, the 5 elements of wuxing. During the period, it was thought that everything was composed of 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Therefore, 5 was a number associated with the harmony. In other words, there should be 5 jitsu statues. Are 5 such statues located in town? I expect tracking them down will prove a tremendous task. So I spoke about this in my first playthrough. Spoke about this in my first playthrough because there is possible to gain a sword. So let's just see what happens here. Yeah, this is one of the puzzles. Sacred sword. Come to think of it, the local elders were talking about a folklorist from Tokyo who came to Ebisugaoka to research the legend of the sacred sword. It's said that Ebisugaoka was a hidden village that once served as a refuge for defeated soldiers of the Taira clan. Unfortunately, evidence to support this tale has yet to be found. Still, Ebisugaoka share many cultural similarities with those of other hidden villages, and it is my belief that this tale is true. According to other local legends, the soldiers who fled here vowed to exact revenge upon the Minamoto clan and restore the Taira clan to its former glory. Upon swearing this oath, they buried the sword of their deceased leader at the base of the great tree that serves to protect this land. It'd be a historical breakthrough if we could find that sword. However, it is said that the sword's animosity continued to grow even as it remained buried under the earth. So, the people erected a sacred barrier around it using jitsu statues as anchors. If one wishes to find the sword, They should start by looking for these Jitsu statues first. It appears that the barrier works by creating a spiritual harmony that inhibits the sword's animosity. Harmony, yin-yang, the 5 elements of wuxing. During this period, it was thought that everything was composed of 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Therefore, 5 was a number associated with harmony. In other words, there should be 5 Jitsu statues. Are 5 statues located in this town? I expect tracking them down will prove tremendous task, as we read in this. I better go and see whether there is a Ojitsu-san in town. Ojitsu-san in town. These statues I actually found around in my first playthrough, and I was actually like thinking about why aren't these accentuated on the map? And yeah, now we kind of know it has something to do with the rest. Let's just read through Rinko too, because she will be coming into the story very soon. Nishida Rinko, one of my friends. She's really put together, but can be a little inflexible in how she does things sometimes. Once she's set her mind for something, that's it. And recently, that something seems to be clothes, fashions, and other womanly pursuits. Rinko once confessed to me that she had a crush on Shu. I told her that I was all for it, but if she can't get used to the idea of rolling around in dirt and catching insects for fun, she might have a tough time. Rinko is earnest and works really hard, but she also tends to get a little too caught up in her own ways of seeing things. Once she's come to a conclusion in her head, it can be like pulling teeth to convince her otherwise. Although we're the best of friends now, we've had 2 or 3 huge fights in the past that ended with us not speaking to each other for weeks and weeks. I'm sure we'll end up fighting again in the future, but even if we do, I know we'll be able to make up again. Rinko is always asking whether Shu and I are an item, meaning that whether Shu or Hinako was a pair. I tell her every time that we're not, but she never seems to buy it. I heard a rumor that Rinko was gossiping about me behind my back. I suppose love can tear apart even the closest of friends, and I don't know what to do. So yeah, let's continue with the creepy laughter here that I never heard before. Just don't jump out of me, please. We weren't able. I need a key. So there's a lot of chests we can find here. We weren't able to explore this house in the first playthrough, but now it's open. And yeah, we're gonna change our let's just use this for now. Like nothing. I need a key. That was just the first one. And to be thorough, because we're gonna read about the objects we are picking up, because some objects we are gonna try to avoid using this playthrough for a reason that is coming soon to be known. Arara, a small crispy rice cracker. Its pleasant crunch makes it never boring to eat. Slightly restore health. The effect increases when used continuously. Can also be used as an offering. It's very dusty in this house. I need to find a key. That one is closed to us. The sound design is just impressive in all manner of way. A woman's magazine. My father isn't fond of seeing these around. This is from Sakuko, but it's too cute for me. What is it? Is it a pencil case, maybe? But it's too cute for me. What is this? Isn't that cute? Is this maybe a kind of puzzle in its own? He always told me, play house like a good girl should. I wonder who told her that. Balcony key. The key stored on the doll's back. It seems to open the door to the next room from the balcony. Isn't that cute? I wonder, is this room in itself just like a puzzle? Yeah. Let's open the door. Notice the sound. There's nothing there. Why did it get so ominous when we were just looking out? Creepy. Need a key. Oh. Use balcony key. A boy's diary. I'm gonna be a treasure hunter. I'll make sure of it. And then I'm gonna become a millionaire by finding treasure all around the world. And not just haunting treasure, a real treasure hunter. Sometimes takes down big scary beasts and bad guys. And don't forget that they have to learn how to escape dangerous traps too. Makes me scared of where we are. I was play fighting with a girl who lives next door when Mom got mad at me. She said, "What if you leave a scar on her face? Then nobody will marry her." What's that all about? I think that a girl would be a really good treasure hunter, though. I think that girl would be a really good treasure hunter, though. She always finds the hidden treasure when we play treasure hide and seek. I want to become a treasure hunter with her someday. So we don't know who this diary actually is. Treasure hunting game key. A small iron key, unclear what it opens, should be related to the treasure hunt mentioned in the little boy's diary. See, I can give it a try. Packing tips. A book by a well-known expert of how to carry large amount of supplies. Increases inventory capacity. Oh, that's nice. That is very nice. But notice the bird. There's nothing new on the map either. Does it open? It did open this. Treasure hunt game note. You found this place too, huh? You're getting hotter. You gotta use that noggin of yours. Let the thrill of the hunt keep your spirits high. Thrill of the hunt? I'm terrified. Maybe we should take a note on that sound, actually. And that has Hinako's symbol on it. But look, now the thing is gone from here. The cute thing, everything else. I wonder why. I wonder what's on the picture, but yeah. Okay, let's continue. Well, that's not creepy at all. treasure hunt game note. You're really good at this. Not any bozo could find this one. Too bad this isn't a treasure. But points for trying. You're very close. Why is the doll looking there? Should we go back and just see? Something changed? That knocking though. If I was good with Morse code, maybe that would tell me something, but unfortunately I don't know how I don't know Morse code. But that is Morse code. I'll try to unravel the Morse code when I'm looking back at the video after, when I'm done playing this part. Maybe I find out something, because that is intentionally done. If it comes a third time's the charm, you know. Well, there was some knocking. Well, anyway. The doll looking at that is super scary. I'm gonna try to decode that Morse code if it is a Morse code when I'm done with this part. And the dolls are different. Treasure hunt game note. Kaboom! You got blown to smithereens by the doo-doo boom and died. Anyone with half a brain would know this would be a trap. Please don't say it's a trap, but something just jumps out at me. Hiya! You got stabbed by the doo-doo spear and died. Anyone looking around here for treasure is no more than fodder for my traps. And there's another doll by the side. There's no doll here. Is there a doll here? No, it's not a doll here. Faded bride doll. A old doll in the shape of a bride made from clay. It seems to have been forgotten for a long time. This is the treasure. But that was creepy. And it's the 10th. What month is that? Well, it's the 10th. At least it's the 10th. I'm gonna be very fast and just check which month it is. Maybe that has something to say, because we have some missing it doesn't say. Okay, whatever. It's the 10th, whatever. And let's go around the house and listen to the extremely atmospheric, horrible, scary sound design that is just... I'm anticipating something jumping us. Then we have this. That's not even on the map, so yeah, okay. for speed and efficiency, let's just... We need to go up here and see the Inari statues. I think this is where we first are introduced to the Inari, yeah.
お稲荷様だ。あちこちに祀られてる。
So these are all over the place. And now we need to go further down. He was talking about the girl next door.
Hmm? 人気がないな。千鶴屋なら誰か来てるかな。
So, it's said that the kanji for Ebisugaoka in Ebisugaoka holds the meaning of a person who has migrated from far away. The most fanciful theory for the origin of this town is that it was a once hidden village for Taira clan soldiers who lost the Genpei War. In the town's old customs, there are few rules that seem like part of a secret village code, including things like not owning dogs or washing things in the river, but whether or not it's the truth remains a mystery. All right. So, gotta go here. This looks like the picture, doesn't it? Yeah. So these statues, I was wondering in my first playthrough what was the point of. Now I know. I found a damaged Jitsu statue in the mountains. The character for Chuchi, earth, can be faintly seen etched into the stone base. I wonder what will happen if I offer something that relates to that character. While we're on the topic of offerings, I remember that I offered my old doll once. My ears were met with the soothing chime of bells upon offering the item. This should do. So, the chime that was on the balcony, maybe that has something to do with this too. Did we offer enough? Have we offered? We did offer the doll. Oh, we placed the doll. And there we go. I wonder what happens with that. Or if we did it the right way. I really want to find all the notes, like the hidden notes and stuff. That may make us go back and forth a bit. But yeah. Did we offer enough there? Like, did we offer something, or the doll we placed, was that enough of an offering?
すいません。運転手さんいませんか？他の道を探そう。
So, a dead bird. That kind of that's kind of Hinako symbol, isn't it? Yeah, maybe that has something to do with this dead bird. Well, now we know there's a truck that is parked in front of us, so you have to go around. Before we continue going around, I just have to get something to drink, and I'll be right back. All right. Now I'm just gonna explore Ebisugaoka and try to get to the Dark Shrine as our goal for this part of the game. Ebisugaoka is a bit big though, so there is a lot to actually explore. But I'm gonna be...
この先に抜け道があったはず。
Oh, that was very loud. I hope that notification that was in the background didn't come through. If it did, I'm gonna fix that next time. Let me check that. Yeah, that notification came through onto the stream. It's not supposed to. I have no idea what that notification actually was. It might be my Steam or whatever. Gonna turn that off for sure because that scared me. It has nothing to do with the game, so yeah, there's that. But I'll fix that to the next part, and let's hope that it doesn't happen again.
本当に羨ましいわ。まさかあの子がね。それに妬ましいわね。どうしてあの子なのよ。ねえ。噂をすればなんとやらだよ。
I wonder who they were talking about and who they are. Not friendly, at least. And here we see Sakuko, and her symbol is the bunny. wonder what the books are about. Somebody forgot their books on the bike.
裏切り者、
サクコ、
どこ行くの？こっち通るの珍しいね。
車が道を塞いでてさ。
千鶴や？
今は誰かと喋りたくて。
私も後から行くね。
うん。じゃあね。
裏切り者。
So, the way she said, called us a traitor, did she really call us a traitor, or did we just imagine that? The sound was so different from her voice. And yeah, like these banners, when I have been exploring, when I was exploring a lot on my own time, I tried to find out what a lot of these banners actually said, because some of them actually had to do with the situation we are in. Like, I think this has to do with advertising for beer or something. I can check that out later and just not geek out about it right now. Where did anyone go? Name Tsutana Tsutani Mayumi. I think we will find her name later in the Dark Shrine, if I'm not completely wrong. Last seen wearing white blouse, long navy skirt, beige neckerchief with black polka dots, details of disappearance. The rest has been torn off. That's interesting. Still under construction. When are they going to be finished? Well, aren't Silent Hill always having construction sites like this? And there we can see a shoe.
Yo, 相棒。
シュウ。
あのさ。
うん。なんか言ってよ。
お前こそなんか言うことはないのかよ。
相棒にないんだったら私にだってない。
お前らしいや。受け身な生き方なんてお前らしくないぜ。お前が自分で選んだ道なら俺はいつまでも応援するからな。
シュウ。
シュウ君、お待たせ。
ひなこもいたんだ。リンコ。何の話をしてたの？いや、大した話は。
誰かとおしゃべりしたい気持ちだったんだって。
気が紛れたよ。
それはよかった。お役に立てて光栄の極み。会えると分かってたら借りてた雑誌持ってくればよかった。
ああ、貸したままでいいよ。リンコに貸した時点で戻ってくると思ってないし。
んだとこんちくしょう。笑いすぎだよ。サクコだってひなこから何か借りてるんじゃないの？
私なんかあったかな。ねえひなこ、じゃあ私が借りてる500円も返さなくていいよね。
サクコ利子つけて返すとか言ってなかった？
言ってないよ。証文あんなら出してみろ。
いいこと聞いた。これからはサクコに貸すとき消しゴムであっても証文書かせるから。
そんな意地悪言わないでよ。
ねえねえ、昨日のラジオ聞いた？
聞いた。でも途中で寝ちゃった。
まったく、サクコお子様なんだから。またバカにして。
ひなこ？
あ、ごめん。何？
裏切りも。
たい。
So,
これ週にもらっててよかった。
so I do bad at chasing, just saying, and that freaks me out. But yeah, note from Shu. Hey partner, these painkillers should work best for you. They'll not only take care of your headaches, but also any pain from injuries. I suspect that the main cause behind your nasty headaches is from your unconsciously grinding your teeth when you're upset. Does that sound about right? If you ever need to talk or anything, just call my name and I'll be there.
相棒の言う通りだな。
So we just got some painkillers. But I just want to, these red capsules, painkillers in capsules, relieves pains and raises spirits, slightly restores health and current max sanity. We're not gonna use them because we're not gonna use them. And we get this capsule case that I don't think it's the same capsules that we just got, the red and white ones. These are some different capsules, and a box for over-the-counter antipyretics. And I think the capsules we are taking has a lot to do with the story. There is an achievement in the story about not taking the like any painkillers like that, and it's kind of strange just picking up random painkillers. So we're gonna avoid them, or try to avoid them for now. We have other things you can eat. We have crackers. And yeah, that monster just came. The shadowy figure just came and freaked us out. And no, there is a lot to do to find. We are going to continue to escape the fog monster and continue towards our goal of hitting the dark shrine. But this is also a very good place to actually stop and take a break. But I think I'm going to continue a bit more. There are some clues we get along here that I have been thinking about, and I'm gonna talk about them when we get there. Just a moment. Like what our objectives are. What kind of objectives we get doing this. So yeah. Let's just continue a bit farther, and I might take a break, and we might have to reach the Dark Shrine in 2 parts. Maybe. We'll see. For now, we are just gonna explore a bit further. Maybe until we get to... yeah, wherever. Just a bit further. We get a steel pipe here. But then again,
ここどこ？急いでサクコのとこに戻らないと。
we need to get back to Sakoko, she says. And we get an objective very soon that tells us something. But I'm gonna try to see if we can follow. Because it's kind of specific. Yeah, find a way back to Chisuruya General Store, that is okay. But there is another objective we will get. And since we are not gonna use these red capsules, we're gonna try and not pick them up either. They are scattered around everywhere. I know that might, like, handicap us a bit, but we're gonna try and do that. Even though there is, because there is something about them that is gonna come up later in the game. And around here in the area, it's a bit... That's also why I might take a break here, because there's a bit of exploring to do. That is a bit like backwards and forwards, because we want to find the radios that gives us hints and stuff. That being said, let's just continue until we get a new objective.
Shu?
Did not catch that. I think it was something with the light. It's too creepy. Creepy atmosphere. For real. So, yeah. Oh, alright.
Shu? Rinko?
Can we see anyone? No. This objective, avoid the monsters and move ahead. But there is a lot of monsters. Should we avoid them and not kill them? Or should we kill them? That is the question I am thinking about. Because there is a lot of them. And our objective is strictly telling us avoid the monsters and move ahead. But we got a weapon. So, maybe this is the part where we actually should take a break. And come back after I've decided if we should actually attack the monsters or avoid them, because it doesn't tell us to attack them. So there's that. And I will continue to the Dark Shrine today, but maybe it's a good place to take a small break. Creepy. So avoid the monsters and move ahead. That being said, I'm not sure if we actually are saved. Have we saved here? Yeah, there was a small save, like an auto save, I think. But yeah, let's see here. So I'm gonna take a small break. We're gonna continue throughout Ebisugaoka until we get to the Dark Shrine. I'm gonna fix that notification first of all, and yeah, and then I'm gonna ponder: should we attack the creatures that comes towards us? Because there is a lot of creatures that will come towards us. We get a weapon here to actually attack them, but is it something we want to do, or will we avoid them? But yeah, first I need to fix that notification sound, take a small break, and I'll be back playing further towards the Dark Shrine. So this is the part of Ebisugaoka where we are going to explore a bit back and forth. We're gonna try to find the radios, and we have to decide if we want to attack the monsters or try to avoid them. If we avoid them, that will be very hard. If we attack them, I don't know if that has anything to do or say or whatever for the story, but it specifically tells us to avoid them. So there's that. So yeah, so far, wherever there is my. Thank you for coming along, and hopefully we can find a good progression here. I'm gonna come back later, maybe around 8 o'clock. I'll put it on my calendar or whatever tonight, and then I will continue towards the Dark Shrine. And yeah. So that's been said. See you later.